SEO doesn't have to be hard, and one of the easiest ways that you can jump right on in is using Pain Point SEO. In today's video, I'm going to share with you exactly how you can identify really easily some of the challenges and issues that your course prospect are struggling with. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how you can do your own customer research to then figure out exactly what topics you're going to want to cover. So jumping right in, the first thing we need to do is define what Pain Point SEO is. Pain Point SEO is identifying the sorts of challenges that the people that you're trying to create content for often have, and then creating content that's not only valuable to them, but also is search engine optimized. So now that we know what Pain Point SEO is, how can we go about finding exactly what people are finding challenging? So just for the sake of an example, let's say that we are selling to marketers. In this case, what we might do is jump into Google and search for something along the lines of marketers' issues, problems, or challenges. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm in my search engine here, and what we're gonna first look at are marketers' challenges. So what you can see here is you can see some content around some of the things that marketers often find challenging. If I go ahead and jump on into these, I can start to read about this and then better understand my customer. In this case, just looking at this HubSpot article, what I can see is one of the biggest challenges that marketers face is generating traffic and leads. 47% of people are saying that that's a challenge. And another 21% are saying providing a return on investment for their marketing activities is a challenge. And then we got another 8% that's talking about delivering an account-based marketing strategy. So right off the bat, without doing any really intense customer research, I've already identified 3 different potential topic areas that I might want to create content for: generating traffic and leads, providing ROI for marketing activities, and then delivering an account-based marketing strategy. If I keep on opening up some of these other articles, I might also find some other pieces of information that are valuable for me. In this case, what I can see is that accessing data across platforms is another interesting one. So is identifying customers across channels, mapping the customer journey. And again, these are just some of the easiest ways that we can start to identify the pain points that our prospects often face. And I can repeat this process over and over again as I go through some of these top results. So in this case, generating traffic is really becoming a highly sought after challenge for marketers. And another one is information overload, tools and technology, and overwhelming data. So from this quick analysis, I've already figured out some of the common challenges that marketers often face. They often have to dig into overwhelming amounts of data, make an ROI assessment in terms of their marketing activities, as well as generate more traffic for their business. So now that I know this, what I can do is I can take those sorts of seed phrases and then work them into Google to see exactly what other searches people are searching for when they're looking to solve this problem. And in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna jump back into our search engine, and then we're gonna search for something like how to generate traffic. And now you can see right off the bat, if you zoom in right here, you can see that there's all sorts of phrases that have come up here. You see that there is how to generate traffic on Instagram, to a Shopify store, your website, your blog, for affiliate marketing. If I want to just search for some related phrases, I can search for the phrase marketing, and now I can see all these other phrases of how to get traffic for email marketing, influencer marketing, content marketing. And just like that, I've begun to really find some pain points to what my prospects really need. And this is a strategy that you can use for any niche that you're working on. Another thing you can do is you can search for synonyms of the word challenges. So what I can also look for is something like marketer problems. And then what I'll do is I'll potentially dig into some of these posts. So here I am opening some of these posts up, and some of them might be similar. I know I already opened that one up, but another one might be different. Here you have BizTraffic's page, and you can see how having no clear strategy is something that 50% of companies using digital marketing are saying they have no plan or strategy in place. Now I have another new set of content ideas. In this particular example, I might be able to think about what goes into a marketing strategy and how can I make that even more easy to understand for my fellow marketers. Or as I keep scrolling through this post, I might also notice how they are looking at the lack of time and resources. So what I might think about is how can I create content that covers exactly how to save time and resources when it comes to having a limited marketing budget. Hopefully you're starting to get a strong sense of exactly how you can use this sort of tactic to then come up with a laundry list of great content ideas that tackle the pain points of your prospects. After you've done this for the phrases like prospect challenges, prospect issues, prospect problems, what you're gonna wanna do is you're going to want to jot down and compile all of the common phrases or key phrases that came up in your searches. At this point in time, you're gonna have probably a list of around 15 to 25 different topics that you're gonna be able to start to create content around. At that point in time, that's when you're gonna wanna look through a keyword research tool like a Keywords Everywhere to see what the estimated traffic is for each of those respective topics. So once you figure out exactly what topics are good, then you'll be able to prioritize which ones you should focus on first to achieve your respective goals. Let's go ahead and just say, for example, that we are thinking about that topic of how to generate more traffic. Well, in this case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump back into Google and then search for the phrase how to generate more traffic. And what I can see is that it has a search volume of 10, but it's got a competition of 1. So this may not be the highest priority topic that I might wanna cover. So you might not notice all that much traffic for this particular phrase. However, if you add some things to that phrase, then you might end up finding some other phrases. So in this case, if I just add to your website to my search phrase, you can see how Keywords Everywhere is estimating that now this has 30 a month in terms of search volume. So what you can do is on the right-hand side, you can see some of the related phrases and then start to identify some great opportunities. In this case, how to increase organic traffic is a higher search phrase. So is increase website traffic free. So I might want to think about how can I potentially create a piece of content that covers how to increase somebody's website traffic for free. And this is the same sort of process that you'll take for all the different clusters of ideas that you've come up with. Once you've prioritized your ideas, the last thing you're gonna wanna do is actually create that content and then distribute that content. It's really important that if you're gonna use this strategy that you create several pieces of content around the particular topics. That way you can build up the authority that you have around that topic and then signal to Google that you are an expert in this particular area. Before we dig into what you can do after you've done this initial pain point SEO research, if you're getting value out of this video, hit that like button below to help other people find this video too. And then check out my video over here, which digs into how exactly you can use some cool digital marketing tools to level up your site's SEO.